Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods here. And you know, Cowboy fans, we have all been worried about one Zeke Elliott. So many good things had happened with Zeke Elliott this past year, and you thought that, hey, Zeke Elliott has turned the corner. We don't have to worry about that guy. He's becoming a team leader. You saw him getting fed popcorn from our quarterback. You saw him doing all kinds of wonderful things on the field. And then the one thing happened, which is, of course, the Vegas incident last weekend. And we have all gone through, as Cowboy fans, like, oh my God, you look at it, if you're a Cowboy fan, you say it's not really that big, but it's, of course, a Dallas Cowboy player. And it seems like if there's a short end of the stick, the Dallas Cowboys are going to get it. That the Dallas Cowboys are judged differently than everybody else in the NFL. And if anybody's going to be suspended, it'll be Zeke Elliott. Well, Jerry Jones was asked about the situation with Zeke Elliott, if he thinks that the NFL will do any punishment. Um, he certainly has had a great offseason, he was quoted as saying, and a great year, Jones said. I think that speaks for itself. His overall career at this point is really in a positive place. And he also went on to say that nothing that happened in Vegas changes where he is as far as the Dallas Cowboys goes. So read into that what you will. Um, Jerry Jones basically saying what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and that they're not basically worried about this. So I feel better, I guess, that Jerry said that. But and I'll take a step back, but I won't relax until we get a statement from the NFL saying there's no there, because the Cowboys, we always seem to get the short end of the stick. And as far as the Cowboys go, this hasn't changed their opinion on negotiation, or at least in public, they're not saying that it's changed their position on this. Although, you kind of wonder, going into negotiations and stuff, if Zeke's demands are a little bit on the high side, you kind of say, Zeke, you did have that incident right there, son. Maybe you need to be a little bit, come back down to earth a little bit. But the thought is that the Dallas Cowboys will give Zeke Elliott the richest running back deal out there. Um, I personally think the best thing for the Dallas Cowboys to do is to do the deal sooner than later. Because right now, he's 23. If you take what he has already and add another 2 years to it, now you're talking about having his deal finished by 27, which is kind of that natural breaking point for running backs. That's when running backs usually start to kind of go downhill. We've already seen Todd Gurley, who got his deal the year before, start dealing with arthritis. We've seen great running backs the first 3, 4 years all of a sudden just like drop off a cliff. By doing that, you already have the big deal, fifth year, next year that you're paying. You got this year. You get those 2 years, basically you're going to give him a raise because he has definitely played more than what he's been paid for. So now you're really only talking about adding 2 more years to the deal. So that way, if it ends up being that there's a problem, if it ends up being that he starts slowing down, then you're not tied up until like 29. Because a lot of people will say, you know what, you got him on the fifth year option, franchise tag him that next year, and then give him a deal. Well, you don't want to give him a deal 3 years down the road, because now you're looking at locking up a running back 7 years. And running backs at 7 years, I don't know about that. Now you're talking about 29 or 30. And that's a whole different ball of wax with running back. And especially the way I think the Dallas Cowboys, I think our offense, and I'll go into this more later on, I think our offense is going to be a lot more dynamic than what we've had in the past. I think Tony Pollard may end up being, he's already impressed some, at least in OTAs, and I know that's not with the pads on it. That's not being tackled or being hit by NFL players. but you can see the speed and the additional abilities that he has. You can kind of hear Dak Prescott that, we're going to be doing some different things. And you got to believe that Kellen Moore wants to show everybody how smart he is. And he's not going to just take, Scott Linehan's playbook and say, that's it. I think what you're going to see is less of the pounding between the tackles and more of seeing Zeke Elliott get the ball in space, seeing a change of pace back at a Tony Pollard, and seeing us actually throwing the ball downfield, in which case you will help to keep Zeke Elliott healthy for the longer haul than just running him between the tackles like we did with DeMarco Murray literally until the wheels fall off. So he is an important cog to the puzzle. The other thing I will say is I'm sure that outward the Cowboys are saying, there's nothing here. But I can bet you internally there's some discussions going on with Zeke Elliott to make sure that he stays out of trouble. If there's not, there should be. And I know a lot of people will say to me, you're talking about having somebody hanging out with him. He's a grown-ass man. But you know what? I don't know of too many rock stars or singers or actors or rappers that go places without having their posse with them to make sure shit doesn't happen. Zeke needs to have some people that kind of are there to make sure shit doesn't happen, to keep him safe and out of trouble, as do most famous people. You got a target on your back. You got to understand that. You can't just be a regular guy at the music festival. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you guys soon.